like a pack of whipped dogs at their master's command." "I don't think that's what he meant," Grandma Helga said, pulling me closer. "And don't start worrying, Terence. Everything is going to be all right. You'll see." Grandpa glanced up at us. "Nothing is going to be all right," he whispered. "The filthy bastards will lord it over us, and our spineless leaders will make it easy for them." He had been saying much the same thing since I had arrived the previous summer to live for an unspecified period under my grandparents' roof, but until that day it had sounded like nothing more than an old man's chronic nattering. "You're overreacting, Gideon, and there's no need to alarm the boy," Grandma Helga said, "or to use that degrading sort of language. We have to stay calm and collected and keep our wits about us, not go flying off the handle." As it would improbably turn out, both of them were right. But the boy was already alarmed by their seemingly irreconcilable responses to the day's conclusive events. For the first time, I suddenly had to confront the reality that, as a practical matter, I was an orphan, even while surrounded by kin who had fondly taken me in. My own country, which Providence had forced me to abandon, was a wide ocean behind me. I felt desperately alone and powerless. That night, wrestling with jagged memories of how and why I'd come to be there, I could only flirt with sleep. I was a stranger in a small kingdom by the sea, where I thought I had found a temporary haven from my brief life's travails. With the invasion, that dream was over, as events were shortly to prove. What follows here is a painstaking retrieval, based on my best recollection of what I felt and witnessed, plus reports to me by others present when I was not, and a sheaf of salvaged documents, of those crucible years, once daily threatening, but now swiftly fleeting, that I have waited most of my lifetime to chronicle. 1. I first visited Denmark in the summer of 1933, when I was 8 years old. My mother thought it was past time for me finally to meet my Danish grandparents, who lived almost 4,000 miles from our home in Alexandria, Virginia, and had never managed to forgive their older daughter for abandoning her sedate native land and settling in raffish America. So they had never visited us, and my mother had always been too short of money for us to afford a trip there. My boyish anticipation of the great voyage to a faraway enchanted kingdom was all the keener, because I had never met my father's parents either, although they lived, or so I was told, in Richmond, just a 90-minute drive from us. Even more inexplicably, until I later learned from my mother about the Sayre family's pitiable social aspirations, neither had she ever met her in-laws. Safe to surmise, then, that my parents' clouded relationship was ill-fated almost before it began. You might even call it a disaster, especially for my mother, Katarina, whose life had opened with such high promise. Kate was the second of 4 children born to Gideon and Helga Mundt, who had come of age as an egalitarian spirit was sweeping over Denmark. It brought progressive social values to the fore, particularly in Copenhagen, the cosmopolitan capital, where they made their home. Gideon's father had partnered in a prosperous import-export business, so the family had the resources to provide their son with a culturally enriched upbringing. After excelling as a university student of Scandinavian history and literature, Gideon chose journalism over academia for his career and joined the staff of the Nationaltidende, the country's leading conservative daily, where he quickly displayed his talent as a phrase-maker. While working his way up the editorial ladder, he met Helga Mortensen, whose family had for several generations been civil employees in the royal household at Amalienborg Palace.